Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're tackling one of the most conceptually challenging and frankly just entertaining source stacks we have ever received.
It really is. I mean, it's this beautifully messy collection of documents.
Right, we've got Burger King marketing, the core techniques of stage mentalism, specs for elite gaming gear, and the evolutionary psychology of human attraction.
It looks completely random on the surface, but you'll see pretty quickly that these four areas all rely on the exact same psychological architecture.
Okay, so what's our mission with this deep dive?
Our mission is to basically map the universal levers of influence. We want you to walk away understanding how choice, attraction, and perception are engineered.
Whether it's selling a Whopper.
Exactly. Or, the deceptive pattern of mind reader, or even the high-stakes strategy of finding a mate in this age of just information overload.
Okay, let's unpack this. We're starting with pure corporate aggression, the Burger King Whopper Detour campaign.
Yes.
It sounds like a simple discount, but it was so much more. A masterclass in behavioral economics.
It was brilliant and deeply aggressive. So, Burger King offered customers a Whopper for 1 penny.
1 penny?
1 penny. But there was a catch that acted as the behavioral hook. You had to use their mobile app while physically located within 600 feet of a McDonald's.
Wow. So they were forcing the customer into enemy territory.
Right.
If you wanted the deal, you had to literally pull into a McDonald's parking lot, open the BK app, unlock the coupon, and then drive immediately to the nearest Burger King.
It's almost theatrical. And the reason it worked so well is because it attacked the consumer's deep-seated reliance on what's called the status quo bias. We are creatures of habit.
We go to the same places, order the same things.
Exactly. So Burger King recognized that to gain a new customer, they first had to engineer a habit break.
So the 1 cent deal wasn't just about saving money. It was a Trojan horse. It was designed to overcome our cognitive inertia. But was there a risk there? That this could backfire and just annoy loyal McDonald's customers or even BK customers who had to drive out of their way?
That's where the concept of conquesting comes in. It's also called a digital stockout strategy analogy. By creating this intense scarcity, a 1 cent Whopper,
right,
and tethering it to the rival's location, they activated a sense of novelty and, urgency. They weren't just stealing a sale, they were disrupting the rival's perceived dominance.
And the numbers speak for themselves. That campaign resulted in a massive 37% increase in app downloads.
And then later, when they launched the Impossible Whopper, that same strategy helped fuel a 5% boost in U.S. sales. It worked.
And that reveals something broader about their pricing strategy, doesn't it?
It does. Burger King consistently sees 20% higher average order values, and they do it by strategically bundling items and offering combos. They maximize the perceived value.
So the choice feels economically superior, even if the absolute price is, a bit higher than just buying the burger alone.
It's all about framing the decision for you.
So aggression and disruption win the day. But if Burger King won by directly attacking the status quo, let's look at the counter strategy. How does a brand successfully signal high investment decisions when they're starting to
Right. Enter Avis Rent a Car. Avis faced an established leader, Hertz, and they couldn't win on price or having more cars, so they embraced their vulnerability.
With that famous tagline, "We're number 2, we try harder."
It's an emotional masterpiece.
They took their lower market rank and just reframed it entirely into an asset, a promise of superior effort, of authenticity.
They leveraged the powerful underdog effect. We inherently root for the challenger, especially one that promises dedication, because the market leader, Hertz, is perceived as maybe having grown a little complacent.
Okay, so this shift from corporate strategy to evolutionary mating strategy is surprisingly direct.
It is. Let's look at long-term pair bonding, dating for reproduction. The Avis strategy is incredibly relevant here.
Why? Because long-term mating strategies prioritize signals of commitment and reliability.
Precisely. Evolutionary psychology shows that for long-term security, persistence is highly valued by the partner seeking stability. Men signaling resource stability, women valuing persistent suitors.
Elite try harder mindset.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It directly counters the status quo bias in pair bonding. You're signaling, I may not be the flashiest, but I am the highest investment, most committed partner.
So the individual who lists being reliable and dedicated on their profile is unconsciously running the Avis campaign in the dating pool.
Absolutely. And conversely, the aggressive conquesting strategy, the Whopper detour, that applies more to short-term dynamics, dating for erotic pleasure.
So it's about opportunistic timing.
It is. You disrupt a rival's hold by making your advance during their stockout moment, a point when the target is emotionally unavailable, dissatisfied, or just vulnerable to a novel approach. It's all about disrupting a routine.
Psychology holds up, whether you're shifting a customer's loyalty or a partner's attention. Now here's where it gets really interesting. We move from corporate psychological warfare to the stage, asking how mentalists leverage these exact same biases.
Only now the prize is the audience's perception of reality itself. Mentalists are the engineers of perceived choice. They are masters of misdirection.
And so much more complex than just a simple distraction.
It is. Misdirection is about manipulating the spectator away from the cause of the effect, and we divide it into attentional, where are you looking, and non-attentional, what are you thinking, mechanisms.
Most people picture the smoke and mirrors, but the real power is in something the sources call implicit control.
Implicit control is, well, it's control without conscious awareness. It uses the dialogue, the magician's patter, to send your attention to an abstract concept or an unnecessary prop.
So it keeps you focused away from the physical method.
Right. For instance, a performer might make a key move appear mundane or routine by doing it on the third repetition once the novelty has faded and you just expect the action to be irrelevant.
And the most cunning tactic of all, carrying out the procedure before the effect has officially started.
Yes. The audience's cognitive defenses are down because they expect the method to happen during the trick, not before the setup is even complete.
It relies on your expectation window.
If the procedure happens outside of that anticipated time frame, it just registers as insignificant. And this intentional control over choice is perfectly mirrored in marketing. The mentalist's primary tool for this is called equivoke.
Equivoke, the magician's choice. This is how the performer guarantees the outcome aligns with their prediction, even though you, the spectator, feel you made a free choice. It's the closest psychological analog to the marketing stockout strategy, just eliminating options as you go.
Let's walk through a simple example. Say the performer wants you to choose an apple from a group of 3 fruits.
Yeah.
An apple, an orange, a banana. The key is conditional language.
Okay.
The mentalist might say, point to one of these fruits.
Okay, so if I point to the apple, the performer just says, great, you chose the apple, and the choice is complete.
Right. But if you point to the orange or the banana, the performer reframes it. Thank you for indicating the 2 fruits we will set aside for the moment.
That's clever.
The language is crucial. They avoid words like eliminate or discard and use this subtle linguistic framing to make the outcome feel natural. The choice was always predetermined.
So whether it's a whopper or a card trick, controlling the framing of the choice controls the final decision. This leads us to cold reading, the illusion of, uncanny insight into a person's soul.
Cold reading isn't magic. It's calculated behavioral observation combined with high probability assumptions about, universal human experiences. The reader observes everything: clothing, mannerisms, your immediate responses.
And the backbone of cold reading is the use of Barnum statements.
These are broad, generalized statements that sound deeply specific and personal, but in fact they apply to almost anyone. Like, you have a great deal of unused potential that you haven't yet turned to your full advantage.
Who doesn't feel that way?
Exactly. The power of the Barnum statement lies in the subject's effort. You want the statement to be true, so you actively search your own life history to find evidence that fits the vague generality. You do the work of conviction for the reader.
The listener is validating the performance, and then there's the beautiful risk-free structure of the rainbow ruse.
The rainbow ruse is self-canceling. It guarantees the mentalist is right, either way, by attributing a trait and then immediately mentioning the exact opposite.
Give us an example.
You are primarily a very strong, logical thinker, but when faced with an emotional crisis, I sense a deep well of sensitivity that you hide from the world.
And since all humans have contradictory traits,
You perceive this statement not as contradiction, but as profound insight into your nuanced complexity.
that's the core of influence, making the target feel validated and deeply seen. Now let's pivot all of this toward the ultimate competition: human attraction and mating.
This is where these strategies become innate. Sexual strategies theory posits that humans utilize both long-term and short-term mating approaches. The goals dictate the signals we send and receive.
So for long-term goals, that means security, fidelity, future prospects.
Exactly. We're looking for commitment, kindness, and financial stability. This is the domain of the Avis campaign. The partner who promises persistent effort is attractive for pair bonding.
But for short-term mating, the focus shifts entirely.
It shifts to physical attractiveness and quick access.
And the sources note a key finding related to differential parental investment. Can you clarify that for our listener?
Certainly, because the biological investment required for reproduction is historically greater for the female sex, the less investing sex, historically men, tends to show greater eagerness and less discrimination when pursuing short-term strategies.
They relax their preference standards in that context.
Right. Prioritizing speed and accessibility.
And this leads directly to the powerful influence of physical attraction, where the mind literally begins to distort reality through the misperception bias.
It does. Research confirmed that the magnitude of men's sexual overperception bias, misreading friendly signals from women as sexual interest, is directly proportional to the woman's perceived physical attractiveness.
Especially for men oriented towards children.
Particularly for them, attraction isn't just an appreciation. It actively skews your cognitive interpretation of social signals.
That's fascinating. So attraction is a neurological trick, much like misdirection. How do people, a cold reader or someone on a first date, accurately read these high-stakes nonverbal cues?
Observation is everything. Mentalists and daters both rely on nonverbal signals. Positive cues include microexpressions. A fleeting smile that vanishes almost immediately, the eyes momentarily widening.
Which signals surprise or excitement.
A positive emotional state, yes, or just subtly leaning in. And the nonverbal equivalent of a direct confirmation is the lock and hold, prolonged eye contact without breaking.
And what happens when your opening line or your cold read is a miss? What are the negative cues?
The body instinctively signals rejection or discomfort by creating distance. You look for lip thinning, the immediate crossing of arms or legs, leaning back, or a phenomenon called eye blocking.
Eye blocking.
That's frequent blinking or momentarily closing the eyes. It's an unconscious attempt to block out the disliked stimulus. You are literally trying to close them out of your perception.
We've established the short-term strategies: disruption, misperception, quick nonverbal scanning. But how do you use these insights to build that deep connection required for a successful long-term partnership?
The goal, as in cold reading, is making the other person feel seen. This is achieved through the echo technique. It's a powerful rapport builder where you describe their own internal struggles using the partner's exact keywords.
Their native internal code.
Exactly. So it's not just mirroring their tone or body language, it's mirroring their specific vocabulary.
So if they describe their career as a brutal grind, but also a spiritual mission,
you incorporate those precise terms into your follow-up description of their ambition. You are validating their deepest, most unique internal map of the world. And when someone feels understood at that core level, it generates immense trust.
this brings us squarely into the modern environment, which has just fundamentally changed the competition landscape. The source material notes an evolutionary mismatch. Ancestrally, humans were exposed to maybe dozens of potential partners. Now we're exposed to billions online.
The sheer volume of choice creates massive complexity. And this is where modern dating strategy needs to become highly sophisticated, borrowing directly from the arts of persuasion and intrigue, like using the curiosity effect.
The sources refer to this as the mystery reveal, or asymmetric disclosure.
It's a clever form of information control. You manage the information flow to create a puzzle the other person feels compelled to solve. You might reveal a deep vulnerability early, something emotionally resonant, but withhold mundane, easily searchable details, like your exact job title.
So you create immediate emotional connection while simultaneously building this addictive curiosity by withholding simple data points.
It's the Scheherazade strategy. You end the story on a cliffhanger to ensure engagement continues.
Exactly. And this need to optimize strategy in a complex, high-speed environment is perfectly paralleled by the source material on high-performance gaming gear.
It really is.
We're talking about elite gaming mice, like the Geeks Dragonfly R1 Pro or the endgame gear OP1 8K. Why are these tools relevant to a deep dive on attraction and choice?
Because they represent the ultimate pursuit of competitive optimization in an environment of just overwhelming sensory information. Modern competitive gamers need tools that minimize input lag to the microsecond level.
Can you elaborate on the tech here? We see specs like 8,000 hertz for polling rates. What does that functionally mean?
Polling rate is how often the mouse reports its position to the computer. A standard mouse reports at 1,000 hertz, or 1,000 times per second. An 8,000 hertz mouse reports 8,000 times per second. This is critical in high-stakes competitive play because it minimizes the gap between thought and action, the input lag. And the max DPI number, which is often advertised, is actually less important than the reliability of the sensor, like the Pixar 3395, and the speed of that recording rate.
It's a hyper-focused war on latency. And the connection back to our theme is what?
The complexity of choice in modern life, whether picking a mate from millions or making a fraction of a second tactical decision in a game, it demands optimization. Just as the gamer meticulously optimizes their peripheral choice, the modern individual must optimize their strategy to stand out. The goal remains the same: control the gap between input and outcome.
This deep dive has unified these four wildly disparate fields. The unifying theme across fast food, mentalism, attraction, and technology is that information and symmetry control over who knows what and when is the ultimate source of influence.
So what does this all mean? It means your decision-making, whether you're buying a Whopper or choosing a partner, is not based on objective fact. It's based on how reality is framed. The person or entity that controls the flow of information, the perceived scarcity, or the context of the choice, is the one who controls the outcome.
And as you take this knowledge forward, here's a provocative thought for you, the learner, to consider. Think about the ultimate psychological lever in long-term commitment, which is future pacing.
For long-term bonding, don't just talk about the past, talk about the future in hyper-specific, committed terms. Saying something like, our kids are going to get your incredible patience, or we'll have to build a bigger porch for our retirement house, creates what we call pseudo-memories.
Pseudo-memories of the future.
By using this extreme future pacing, you make the commitment tangible and immediate. This use of future nostalgia bypasses the decision of if you will be together, and it reframes the conversation entirely to when you will be together.